What in the world is happening with King County real estate? Let's check it out in this month's edition of Did I Stutter? That's right. Last month we talked about this happening, and it happened. I can't believe one of the things I said might happen happened. It's unbelievable. All right, so what is it that happened? Well, look at that big old green line, man, at the end here. This is May, the number of new listings in May. This is the supply and demand chart, as always. Green is the supply, number of new listings. Blue is the demand, the number of homes that got sold, went under contract in any given month for the last 2 years. And this huge green line indicates there were more listings that came to market in May than in the last 2 years. In fact, you got to go back to 2021 to see this many. Okay, we're not at pre-pandemic levels, but we're at pandemic levels of inventory, this is a lot of inventory compared to the last 2 years when interest rates tripled. That's what you want to note. In January 2023, interest rates tripled, went from 3 to whatever, 2.5 to 7. Big deal. It was everyone stopped selling because no one can afford to go from a 2.5% mortgage to a 7% mortgage. So all those people were off the market. Well, looky, they're back. Okay. Now, buyers still can't buy. And they can't buy at the current prices because interest rates are still 7%. So buyers, that's a really flat bar for buyers. Now, it's a little bit more than last year, but it's just a skosh more. This delta between new listings and pending listings, we don't see that in the last 2 years in recent memory. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that if you are selling, you're selling with more competition and less buyers than any time in the last 2 years. And if you're buying, you have more choices with less competition for you as a buyer than any time in the last 2 years. That is, and we were waiting for this to happen last month when we looked. We're like, well, it hadn't shown up in prices yet, but bam, first down in price, April to May. There's April to May there. Right? May is usually a little bit up. Prices usually come down in the summer. Again, I don't know why people think selling in the summer is better. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. You see it in the median sales price every year. So it just happened a little earlier this year that median sales price is down in King County and the month supply is up. First time we're over 3 months. First time there's been over 3 months of supply in King County that's 3 years. More supply than any time in the last 3 years. That's a big deal. Now, the question is, does June continue this trend? May or June, historically, is this May? Yeah, May or June are usually the most number of listings, okay? Can't tell. Sometimes it's June. Here, this was June. It's just a skosh over. So, can't tell if this is going to be more listings or less listings. But what we do know is if you're selling now in King County, you need to price very aggressively. You will not get the buyers to look at your house, nor will you get the buyers to offer on your house if you are even priced a skosh over market value. There's just no reason for them to do that. There's more houses that they can look at. And what's predictable is buyers are going to go away in the summer. Look, every year buyers go away in the summer. Really, really typical. Buyers go down in the summer. Again, the time to list is February, March, April, not May, June, July. But here we are. If you've got a list, be aggressive. Be aggressive. Okay. If you're buying, woohoo, baby, you got a good summer ahead of you because all these listings are going to set predictably. And if there's less listings in June, there's still going to be likely more listings in June than any time in the last 2 years. So you're going to wind up with all this inventory in July, all this inventory in August that's been sitting, ripening, ready for their price drops, ready for you to move in. My buyers, I am coaching them to cool their jets, to slow down and wait because it's coming. We are now looking at increase in inventory. We're still a seller's market. And every house is different and every place is different. So don't take this to mean what you should do. What you should do is call me so we can talk about what you should do, because everyone's different. But this is the meta context for our market. It is more competitive to sellers than it's been any time in the last 2 years. Okay. That's what you need to know about that. All right. And if you're buying, it's been the easiest time to buy in any time in the last 2 years. If you got questions about your situation, because you should, call me. Let me know what I can do for you. Aaron Hendon with Christine and Company at eXp Realty. Party on, Wayne.